When it comes to the GORUCK GR1, I've had that bag in almost every material it's been made in. I've had the Dyneema, I've had the X-Pack, I've got the Ultra 400 version right here, and I even have the 420 aerobic version of the GR1. But there has been one line that I have specifically stayed away from, and that is the Heritage Wax Canvas. And the reason I've stayed away from this version of the GR1 is because it's previously had a deal breaker for me. Okay, clearly I am a user, collector, a big fan of the GORUCK GR1. You know, if there's an emergency situation happening and I can only grab one bag as I'm leaving the house, it is going to be a GORUCK GR1. It's on my Mount Rushmore of bags. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my experience with my very first Heritage Wax Canvas GR1. If you're somebody looking for a deeper dive into the GR1, you want to see the pockets, you want to see a loadout, you want to look at the dimensions, all of that good stuff, I've actually already done a GR1 deep dive. You can find that video right here up in the corner. I'll also link it down in the description. Now, recently GORUCK restocked some of the Heritage bags and something caught my eye immediately. And it wasn't that weird anti-man purse campaign they were pushing via email and social media, even doubling down and proudly proclaiming they were not man purse guys. How that correlates to wax canvas backpacks is beyond me. And look, honestly, there are so many things in this world already actively trying to divide and separate us as human beings. I don't have time to worry or care about what somebody else is carrying, and neither should you. One of my favorite EDC channels on YouTube is called Pocket Theory, and the host Suds has a beautiful saying, carry what you want. That's his slogan, that's his channel slogan, and I wholeheartedly believe in that. At the end of the day, carry what you want. And right now for me, it is this beautiful GR1 wax canvas heritage bag. Now, the thing that really turned me on to this bag, because I've seen them before, right? I've seen them in all different colors, is the fact that they finally added webbing to the shoulder straps, and that allows you to attach a sternum strap, which was previously a deal breaker for me. So let's show you that in the overhead cam. So this is going to be the biggest change here for 2026 Heritage bags here, is the shoulder strap molly. Now previously you could buy the bag and then send it over to Scars for an additional 75 to 85 bucks for them to add the webbing. And you know, it's just an extra step, an extra thing you had to do. Then you still had to buy the sternum strap. So I just threw this Coyote Fidlock strap that I had laying around. Obviously it's not a direct color match. I also threw on some Odd Job strap keepers here at the bottom. Eventually I want to get all this sorted into the correct color and everything matching, but for now, you know, this will work for now. Now I fully understand why the Heritage line didn't have shoulder strap webbing. I do agree, the bag does look cleaner without it. But I love a sternum strap, especially with the 210D back panel. Now you don't have the 210D back panel here. You have a fully waxed panel, back panel here, so you don't have to worry about the bag sliding around. I love the 210D, but it is a little slippery, and I love a sternum strap. But regardless of the material of the back panel, I love a sternum strap. So this is one of those trade-offs that I was happy to do. Yes, you give up a little bit aesthetically of the clean look, but the functionality for me is non-negotiable. And this is the main reason why I stayed away from the Heritage line. Like, I just want a strap, a sternum strap. I don't want an extra step of having to send it to Scars. So again, this choice here is gonna divide the Heritage line lovers, right? I've already seen comments on Reddit about how this is ruining the look. And I get it, but like I said, the trade-off for me is non-negotiable, and I'm glad to have it, and I'm glad it's here. Now the second change is a little bit more subtle. It's just a new patch here. You have an American leather patch. Now the Heritage lines does come with GORUCK leather patches. We just got a new American spearhead design here on the front of this bag. Now overall, my very first impressions on unboxing this bag, the very first thing I noticed, besides how beautiful and gorgeous this bag is, was the weight of this bag. And that's to be expected. Wax canvas is heavier. You know, this is a heavy duty duck canvas, but GORUCK doesn't specifically list the ounces. But I've seen some comments online about how thin the wax canvas is for GORUCK bags, and I don't agree with that. Now they may say that because this bag is not lined, and some bags like Track and other wax canvas producers who make bags out of wax canvas do line their bags, so maybe that's where they can get the thinness feeling. But this thing feels durable as hell. This bag is heavy, and of course the Heritage line is accented with leather all over the, the bag. You have this beautiful leather grab handle up at the top. You have the leather accents down here on the back panel, and of course you have this beautiful bottom panel here that it is leather as well. Now, one thing to know about wax canvas, and something to consider if you're thinking about grabbing a heritage bag, is that the wax canvas will patina over time as well as the leather. You're gonna pick up scuffs, you're gonna pick up marks. This bag is gonna look like a bag well carried. And especially having the leather bottom panel here, you're gonna put this down on different surfaces. It's gonna scuff, it's gonna scrape. It's all gonna add character to the bag. So the look of the bag is really gonna change the more you carry it and the more it gets used. But for me personally, even in the short amount of time that I've been carrying this wax canvas and picking up the scuffs, you know, it's already starting to build a character of its own, and I love it. Now, I did anticipate this bag to be heavier because of the leather and the wax canvas, but GORUCK is one of the, I would say, only bags that actually gets more comfortable with weight. And typically my experience with all GORUCK bags, because I have a ton, I have over 15 GORUCK bags in my personal collection, the straps are a little stiff coming right out of the box, and it takes about a week or two underweight to really start to feel comfortable. But one of the things I noticed on my very first carry of this heritage bag was how comfortable the shoulder straps were. I didn't feel like it needed a break-in period. They felt really nice. They felt almost like a well broken in shoulder strap, a well broken in GORUCK shoulder strap. So that was a nice surprise. I didn't have to go through the couple of days there where you're trying to get it settled in. So that felt good. Is it attributed to the wax canvas on the back of the bag? I don't know, but it just felt really good. And the other immediate thing I noticed was how hot the back panel is. Now, GORUCK is not known for their breathability, right? Their back panel is basically flat, and there's no difference here. And it being fully waxed, you can definitely feel it. So I did notice a difference in the way it carried in 105-degree weather, and also because it is a grippier material, it does tend to grip your clothing a little bit. You know, my shirt did tend to ride up a little bit more than the 210D bag, which I'm accustomed to and love. So some things to notice, but of course, if you're a fan of the 1000D, 500D, there's gonna be no difference in this back panel for you besides maybe a little bit of breathability. Because this is a waxed canvas, it is fairly weather resistant. Now, if you get caught in a downpour, because it is canvas, eventually it's gonna soak through. You do have a little bit of extra protection with the rain flaps, of course, but overall, if you're in a quick shower, I wouldn't be so concerned, but if you're in a torrential downpour, I would definitely work your way to shelter as soon as possible. Now, because the wax can wear off over time, that could, you know, compromise the bag's overall weatherability, but you can easily reapply a layer of wax. So down the line in the future, there could be a little bit of maintenance involved to maintain that weatherproofing a little bit, but again, somebody who's familiar with wax canvas, this is all known. This is something that's been done for hundreds of years at this point, so no surprise there. So taking a look at the inside of this bag, of course, the GORUCK GR1 is a full clamshell, and I noticed something different on the inside of this bag. On the beaver flap here, you have your leather patch, GORUCK GR1, built in the USA, but you also have this nice American patch sewn on the other side here. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe all the GORUCK GR1s are made in the USA, and I have a total of, in my collection, now with the wax canvas, I have 4. I've got the Robic, I've got the Ultra, got the wax canvas, and I even have another Robic in the 21 liter size, because this bag is available in 2 sizes, 21 liter and 26 liter. You can get the wax canvas currently in both sizes as well. Right now, there's only 2 colors on the website, this dark oak that I have and a all black. So all of my GORUCK GR1s here are American made, but none of them have that American patch sewn on the inside of the bag. So if you're familiar with the heritage lines, leave me a note, leave me a comment, let me know, is this something that's new or something that's always been part of the heritage line? Now, as far as the rest of the layout for this bag, it's going to be your traditional layout. You got the 2 pockets here, the mesh down at the bottom, and then on the opposite side, you have your 3 rows of MOLLE and your stretch pocket like normal, and it's all wax canvas. But like I mentioned earlier, it is not lined. And there's been some comments online about how thin the wax material, the wax canvas feels on this bag. And I can get that, right? Since it's not lined, it'll tend to feel a little bit thinner, but I think any unlined bag will feel a little bit thinner, even if you use a, you know, laminate material. I don't foresee an issue ever with this wax canvas. It is burly as hell. It feels and looks like a heavy duty bag. You know, even right here for your quick access pocket here, they have the wax canvas. Having owned and carry GR1s in almost every fabric, they have little nuances to them. They all carry a little bit differently, and they all function a little bit differently. As weird as that sounds, you know, it's kind of like Take a car, for example, an F-150. If you test drive 3 F-150s, you're probably gonna notice little differences between all 3, despite them being the exact same truck. And I think the GORUCKs are the same way here. So one usability issue that I found with this bag was the rain flaps. Now, I am not a fan of the rain flaps. I've said that in my GORUCK videos. I wish they didn't have rain flaps, but because the wax canvas to me feels a lot thicker, it's definitely noticeable. Now I am the flip guy. I flip the rain flaps and I close, open and close. That's how I operate all of my GORUCK bags, except for my Ultra one because it doesn't have rain flaps. But here it definitely felt more chunky, more noticeable, more thicker to get that flap out of the way. But the only other real issue I have with this bag is going to be the quick access pocket. So here, you know, you see nice wax canvas, but on the inside, they chose to go with this orange liner. Now, I don't have any beef with orange being used as a internal material, color, whatever. I love orange. I have bright, eye-burning orange on the Kaden 3 here. I mean, it'll burn your retinas. My only issue is that the orange doesn't really fit the look, feel, and vibe of this bag in general. I wish they would have chose something a little bit different. Maybe they should have just left that pocket unlined. I get where they were going. They were trying to add some visibility to this pocket here, but I almost would have just taken that pocket unlined because of the orange color. It does bug me a little bit. So that's a choice that I hope that they choose to change in the future. You know, this being such an elegant looking bag, I don't think that material matches the quality and look and feel of this bag. Now, where does this heritage wax canvas stack up for me, considering so many different GR1s that I have tried in the past? I would say it stacks up pretty high. It is not my favorite version of the GORUCK GR1. I would think that has to go to the Kaden 3.0. I love the Ultra material, and I love the fact that this doesn't have rain flaps. And I think that that's going to be my favorite all-time version of the bag. And for everyday carry, everyday beater bag, everyday, you know, I'm going to go with the Orbitkey 420 here. I think for everyday carry, it's a little bit more malleable. It's very durable, very rugged, and it is a little floppy. It actually is very floppy when you don't pack this bag out. But I just love everything about the Orbitkey material. In combination with the 210D back, I just love this bag. I love this bag so much that, again, I have it also in the blue Orbitkey, and then I have the double compartment bullet, I have the gym bag, I have the kit bag in Orbitkey. I have so many Orbitkey products. I've even got my little GORUCK, dare I say, man purse in black Orbitkey to match my GR1. So I just love the Orbitkey material, and I'm sad to see that I think GORUCK is no longer going to be making bags in Orbitkey, from my understanding. I hope that that is not true, because I love the material so much. I even have a Orbitkey field pocket here that I use for my studio gear. But anyway, where the wax canvas falls for me, it's going to be a elegant carry, something of a nicer carry. And I've been carrying it into the office all week long. I do have to wear button-up shirts, so I do think it fits in that scenario. I don't know if it quite goes with a suit, but I think it does look professional. It also gives it a little bit of outdoor look. Besides the look and the kick-ass materials in this bag, my overall carry experience so far with the Heritage GR1 has been great. Yes, we picked up a little bit of heat in the wax back panel. I didn't notice any wax transfer to any of my clothing, and I do wear light colored button-up shirts. No issues with tearing, no issues with wax transfer. I'm glad that these straps here felt immediately comfortable. I didn't need that typical GORUCK break-in period like I have experienced with some of the other bags. Now, because of this bag's price point, one area I paid specific attention to is in the bag's overall quality. I have seen comments over the years on Facebook, on Reddit, about how the Vietnamese GORUCK bags were better quality than the American-made GORUCK bags. Now, all of my GR1s are American-made, and I've actually had to send my Orbitkey one into Scars for repair. I had the shoulder strap molly up here at the top break because I clipped my keys onto here, and I don't think there was enough stitching there, and it actually broke. But send it into Scars, they fixed it in a week. Sending it out and sending it back, I got it within 10 days. So shout out to the Scars team for the quick turnaround, the awesome repair, and then really just shout out to GORUCK for honoring such a robust warranty, right? The Scar's lifetime guarantee. First time I've ever had to use it on such a cosmetic issue, but no issues getting it fixed. Now, because of the price point, like I mentioned, this bag is expensive at $525. I didn't notice any quality issues with this bag. All the panels look good. The shoulder strap alignment looked good on the back. All the bar tack stitching, no loose threads, no misaligned panels. Everything looked good as far as this particular bag here. So while there's definitely issues, there's going to be issues with your Vietnamese bags too, I'm sure. I don't think that that's a major concern. And just like any manufacturing process, I think that those are just one-offs. But out of all 4 of my American-made GR1s, I've had one issue, and it was minor and cosmetic. So who is the GR1 Heritage actually for? I think if you're somebody who's already a fan of a GR1 and you want to dabble your toes into wax canvas, I think this is a great starting point here. Now, if you're not familiar with the GR1, this may be a big pill to swallow at $525 to get into your very first GR1. So maybe check the secondhand market and test drive. You know, you can find the Cordura versions for like 200 bucks. I've seen them as low as 150 bucks on Facebook Carryology Classified. So if you want to dabble in GR1, maybe don't start here. But if you're already a fan of the silhouette and the form factor and you want to dip your toes into the wax canvas, definitely recommend you getting one in the Heritage line. Also, if you're looking for something nicer to carry, the premiumness of this bag is definitely here. The wax canvas feels premium, and obviously all of the leather bits and accents throughout this bag just gives this bag a very durable, very premium look and feel to the bag. Now, who is this bag not for? I think it's not for the budget-conscious consumer. This is at the higher end of the GORUCK lineup. It might be the most expensive bag on the website right now. But definitely if you're trying to save pennies, the wax canvas version of the bag may not be for you. You may want to look at some of the Cordura versions of the bags. And obviously this bag is not for all the people who like to complain about what the GR1 is missing, like water bottle pockets. If you're a hater, you can remain a hater. This bag is not for you. So for my final thoughts on the Heritage GORUCK GR1, obviously I am a big fan of wax canvas. I love the materials, I love the leather, I love the look, I love the vibe that it gives this bag. The GR1 being a silhouette and a form factor that I love, it is a little bit of a different carrying experience, you know, here with the wax canvas. But overall, I mean, it carried wonderful, and I like that it turns heads. I had coworkers actually come up to me and want to touch the bag and ask about the bag. And as somebody who has brought in hundreds of backpacks into the office at this point, not every bag gets that reaction. So that just goes to show you that this bag brings a little bit of class, a little bit more sophistication, especially since it doesn't give off that heavy military vibe because it's lacking all of the rows of molle you would find on the Cordura versions of the bag. So again, it's a whole different vibe, carries slightly a little bit different, just something to be aware of. But overall, I am very happy to have this bag in my GR1 collection and happy to finally have dabbled my toes into the Heritage line. So now I want to know your thoughts on the GORUCK GR1 Heritage Wax Canvas Backpack. What are your thoughts on the Heritage line in general? I know a lot of you EDC these wax canvas bags, so what has your experience been like? Mine has been pretty great so far. If you have any more questions about this bag in particular, drop those in the comment section. I respond to every single one. The goal of this channel is to always help you find the right gear for you. Now, if you liked today's video and you want to see more like it, please consider hitting like and subscribe, as that directly supports me and the channel. I would also like to say thank you to GORUCK for sending the Heritage GR1 out for me to test and review. And I do want to send my deepest and sincere condolences to the entire GORUCK family for the loss of Monster. I am a huge dog person. I have 5 rescue dogs myself, and losing one is the same as losing a family member, so my deepest condolences. Now that Monster and Java are together, hopefully they run into my Bruce, tell him I said hello and I miss him dearly. Well, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of today's video, and I can't wait to see you on my next one.